What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Beauty is a Beast, the podcast where we are talking about unleashing your inner beast in everything from health, relationships, you name it. We're going to talk about it. Yes, even business. That's right. We're going to talk about it all. So this next episode, I really wanted to talk to you about mental health. Mental health is something that's extremely important to me. It's extremely close to my heart. I have been very open about dealing with anxiety. I have family members who deal with depression. I have family members who, deal with mental health on a very, well, I can't say on a very strong note, because I feel like we all deal with it to some degree, but I have family members that have mental illnesses that really make it a part of my heart. It just tugs at my heart. So I wanted to talk to you about unleashing your inner beast when it comes to your mental health, because especially for us Black people, we need to prioritize our mental health. And I'm always trying to advocate for Black people to go to therapy, go to counseling, tell me how you really feel. It's really what I always say, because I feel like we are the group of people that tend to try to be stronger than what we really are. We try to put up a strong face when really we're broken on the inside or we're shattered on the inside. And a lot of that I feel like comes from fear, because if we truly showed how we really felt, if we truly allowed ourselves to feel the pain of what we've gone through just as a community, or even what we've gone through in our childhood, most of us or most of our families would be exposed, or a lot of the dysfunction in our families would be exposed. And I think, we've been taught what goes on in this house stays in this house. But sometimes unleashing your inner beast just is you being able to recognize, okay, that was traumatic, or okay, that was dysfunctional. Now I need to move forward and try to move forward in a healthy way. But a lot of times we tend to sweep things under the rug and they don't get fixed. And that's just not okay. So I honestly, listen, so as I'm working through this podcast and learning my voice and finding my voice, because it's still new, I do want to hear from y'all. And I think there's a place where you can submit voice record. You can send in voice questions. You can send in your thoughts. And I love that. So I really, if you guys could find that, that would be dope. If you could send that to me, and let's collaborate on these podcasts, because I'm for the people. I'm for the people. I want to work with you guys. So really my question to you that I would hope that you would answer through that voice recorder is, how do you feel as a community of Black women? How do you feel as a community of Black women? Sorry to my other sisters, I got y'all next time, but specifically right now, I want to talk to my sisters of my culture, Black women, specifically for us. How do you feel that we can take that next step in making mental health a priority, where we are not afraid to say, I deal with this. We're not afraid to say I deal with anxiety. We're not afraid to say I deal with depression. How do you think we can move forward in that? And what ways can we help each other? And I know that our brothers as well, even though this is a podcast for women, our brothers deal with it as well. And I think maybe to an even stronger degree. So I want us to unleash our inner beast in that, because I feel like there's so much strength and power that can come from you recognizing the things you need to work on, you recognizing where you are mentally, you recognizing where you are emotionally, and not allowing your past to hold you to something. Because, really all all therapy is it's a preventative measure. It's to keep you from going, and I hate using this word, but it's to keep you from going, quote unquote, crazy. We are afraid because we don't want to be seen or viewed as crazy, but therapy is actually there to make sure that you don't go crazy, because it's when you hold those thoughts in that you tend to spiral downward. You tend to spiral out of control. You tend to begin to make up stories to yourself, and then that's when the illnesses come, because you have created this entire story, this entire life in your head that's not even the case. It's not even real. So I just want us to unleash our inner beast in that area, to be more cognizant of our feelings, to be more cognizant of what we're thinking, and if it's really valid or true. What you feel is always going to be valid, because you can't not feel something. You know what I'm saying? You can't not feel it. But where we go wrong, let me tell you. Okay, so testimony, right? I'm gonna give you a testimony. So I went through a season of bad relationships, just a string of them, just, heartbreak, getting cheated on, someone married someone literally 3 months after we were making wedding plans. And then next thing I know, he just stopped talking to me. He just ghosted me. Next thing I know, I'm seeing on Facebook that he's gotten married. So basically what I'm telling you is I've been hurt. I've been hurt before. And I tended to internalize it. I internalized it because I didn't want to talk about it. Number one, I was embarrassed, because here I am thinking that I'm in love, thinking, telling my family I done found the one. I'm thinking I'm in love, and he shows up married. And then I've had, my string of relationships where he went and had children on me. And, I'll be open and transparent here. I've never said this before on any platform, but I have had a miscarriage before from a past relationship. And in that relationship, I wasn't able to really communicate the pain that I felt from the miscarriage. So every time he would come around me, it was almost as if he wanted to bring it up to see emotion in me, because he did not, because I was so numb. I tried to numb myself because of the pain I felt. And so a lot of times we don't know how to communicate it. We just numb ourselves. And he began to tell me that he was getting all these other women pregnant, and he was not lying when he was telling me this. He was getting all these other women pregnant and all of this stuff. So and I'm giving you this kind of backup just so that you can know where I'm coming from. He's getting all these other women pregnant, and he's coming to me. He's making a special trip to my house just to look me in my eyes and tell me that, and then get in his car and leave. So I'm left with, oh my gosh, so I lost our baby, and you're coming to tell me that you have more coming? Great, thank you. So I internalized all of that. Little did I know, I was actually creating just this hatred towards him, hatred towards myself. Like, I was going down a downward spiral. And y'all, I did not know that I was in a depression. I had no idea that I was depressed. I thought that I was just quiet. I was just to myself. I just didn't have nothing to say. I just wanted to sleep. I just wanted to lay in the bed. I just wanted, like, my family would come over, and they'll tell you, like, my family would come over, and I would just be like, I would hear them say, "Where's Faye?" And my mom would be like, "Oh, she's asleep." Well, yeah, I would be laying down, but I wouldn't be asleep. I would be depressed. All of that, all of those bad past relationships and everything that came along with them sat on me like a heavy weight, like almost like an elephant sitting on me. And I had no idea that it was depression. I had no idea I was going through that. And so when I went to my church, All Nations Worship Assembly, Huntsville, they began talking about therapy. And I actually reached out to the pastor, and I told him, I said, you know what? I think I'm going crazy. I just think I'm going crazy. And he was like, okay, you need to talk to this pastor. She was a female pastor at the church. And so I went and I talked to her, and I thought that she was going to tell me to fix it, because we be in church and we think that the church got all the answers, y'all. We think that church has all the answers. So I went to her and I said, this is what I'm going through. This is how I feel. And I broke down, and I'm like, and I can't get over it, and this and that. And she's like, oh, well, you need to go to therapy. You need to go to counseling. And I looked at her. I was crying. Have y'all seen that meme where it's like, no, it's not a meme. It's a TikTok video where they're crying to the music, and then when the music stops, they stop crying and they cut the music back on, and then they start crying again. That was me. I was crying, and she told me I needed to go to therapy, and I stopped crying, and I looked at her like, excuse me? That ain't what I came here for. I did not come here for you to tell me that I need therapy. But she did. And I didn't go for like 3 months. I did not go because I was still, in my mind, I was trying to figure out, why couldn't she fix me? Why couldn't she just give me a scripture? Why couldn't she lay hands on me and just say a prayer? I mean, I see them laying hands on people, and they're, I see that. So I'm like, why can't you just do that? I mean, she did pray for me, but I'm like, why? Like, do something else. Like, what you mean I gotta go to therapy? So the more I sat with that and the more I kept going to church, I realized I gotta go to therapy if that's what it's gonna take, because I was sick of it. I was sick of feeling the way I was feeling. So I went to therapy. And what I realized was, this is the point that I gave you all that backstory for. No one can make you feel anything, right? No one can make you feel anything. They can contribute. What they said may have hurt you, right? What they said or what they've done, that could have hurt you really bad. But how you respond to it is your responsibility. You can take what a person says and not allow that to get in your heart. Because what a person says to you or about you, it only reflects them and what they have going on. But if you allow that to get in your heart, and then you begin to tell yourself stories about what's in someone else's heart, because basically they're telling you what they're dealing with. They're telling you what's in their heart. And so you take that and you internalize that, and now you're depressed because someone else told you something that they're dealing with. That all of that my exes and stuff did, that was not a reflection of me. That was only a reflection of them. And for me to take that on and become depressed about that and become, and become extremely sad. Of course, you're going to grieve a loss of a relationship, but it should never take you to a dark place to where you don't know who you are anymore. It should never feel like that. That's not okay. That's not normal. And if you are there, I just want to encourage you to seek help, seek counseling. There's BetterHelp. It's an app that you can download. I love it. I have not used it yet, but I love that how accessible it is to you. BetterHelp. And then of course you can look through your city directory and find a therapist or counseling, but it's definitely worth it. And you have to, what a therapist does is they challenge where those thoughts are coming from, because 9 times out of 10, those thoughts are not coming from you personally. They're coming from stories that you made up about yourself, that you made up in your head because you were not able to fully process what really happened. You weren't able to fully process how someone could cheat on you and marry someone else 3 months later. So you told yourself that it was because you were fat, and it was because you didn't have enough money, and it was because all of this, and none of that is true. But it's how you processed it, it's how you internalized it. And so what a therapist does is they help you speak that, they help you to bring that out, and they help to shine light on those dark areas that you've actually hidden, and because you have sold yourself on that story. And so I want us to unleash our inner beast in that. because that's powerful. Once you can say, okay, is this a story that I'm telling myself, or is this actual reality? Is this something that I know is a reflection of them, and I'm trying to take that on as something that I've done wrong, or as something that is a reflection of me? No, absolutely. Like once we can really get to that point where we can challenge those thoughts, it's a game changer, game changer, game changer. Listen, I am challenging y'all with every episode. We're going to find a game changer. We're going to find a game changer. In the first one, I talked about don't wait on a man, don't wait on a relationship to go and get your dreams, to accomplish your goals. Don't wait on marriage. Because what if marriage never comes? I mean, marriage is great. It's a great desire. There's nothing wrong with wanting to be married. But at the end of the day, you have a purpose outside of that relationship. And when you start to walk in that purpose, it's going to be so much easier to recognize who's not for you. Because when you can recognize, okay, look, I got this purpose. Listen, I think this is going to be another episode when we talk about purpose, girls. But what I want you to know right now about mental health is that we need to release and unleash our inner beast. We need to understand that we are not our thoughts. We're not our bad decisions, and we are not what everyone else thinks we are. Like, we're not a reflection of everyone else's thoughts. We don't have to take that in. We don't have to accept that. I stopped accepting that. And when I did, I found joy again. And it sounds, what's crazy? Like, it sounds so cliche. Like, excuse me, but it sounds extremely cliche to be like, I found joy again once I stopped caring what people think. Like, it sounds like something that you would hear somebody trying to like sell you a dream. But literally, and those of you who have dealt with depression for real, and you are under the sound of my voice because you know exactly what depression feels like, when you get your joy back after that depression lifts, it's nothing like it. But imagine being able to actually get that joy when it felt like you lost it at the hands of someone else. When you felt like, okay, I lost who I was at the hands of someone else. I lost my identity at the hands of someone else. Imagine when your joy comes back because you realize that it was never about you. It was only about them. It was only about their inner turmoil that they tried to reflect on you. Y'all, I don't want to go too deep, but I don't want to go too deep, guys, but it's not about you. The only opinion that you need to worry about is your own and God's, period. Like, what anyone else thinks of you is none of your business, and don't you dare allow someone else's opinion about you to put you in a depression. Don't you dare allow someone else's actions or lack thereof to make you question who you are and whether or not you have a purpose and whether or not you're good enough, because you are. You've always been good enough, and you will forever be good enough. You are breathing because you have purpose. You are here because you have purpose. And when another person doesn't see that in you, guess what? They're not meant to walk that road with you. And it might hurt, yes. You may cry about it. That's okay. But you don't live there. You do not live there. You hand that key back, you shake the dust off your feet, and you move forward. You don't stay stagnant like I did. You don't stay stagnant. Y'all got really good news coming. I'll probably share that with y'all in like 3 weeks. I've got really, really good news coming. But you don't stay stagnant like I did. You don't let your dreams feel like they're passing you by like I did. You go out and you take yourself seriously. Number one, take yourself seriously. Dress up and make yourself a priority. If you don't know what you're meant to do, that's fine. Ask God. Pray about it. Meditate on it. Whatever you have to do. But you need to know that you have a purpose. You have a purpose. And it does not matter what anyone else thinks of you. So y'all, that's all I got for episode 2, dealing with mental health and how we can unleash our inner beast with that, y'all. I want us to unleash our inner beast and know, like let's take it seriously. Let's take it seriously, because there's always something deeper. There's something deeper there, always. There's always something more than just, and I'll be honest, I mean, anxiety and depression, they are real issues. I deal with anxiety. Everyone who knows me, I've been open about it. I started a YouTube channel that was called Anxiety Free TV. Now I changed it to Faith McCaney, but I'm very understanding about the mental illnesses out there. But I also understand that a lot of times we can, change the way we think when it comes to those things. Change the way we think. Whenever I deal with anxiety or I have an anxiety attack that I know is coming on, I completely change the way I feel about it. I completely change what I'm doing. Like I talk myself down from it. And I know it's not always easy for everybody to do that, but I do. I talk myself down. I'm like, okay, Faith, now you know you're just having a panic attack right now. So just chill out, breathe. It'll be over in like 15 minutes. And that has helped me. That's growth for me. Did they stop because I'm able to do that? No, I still have them, but it's made it a lot easier to deal with. And I don't think that I would have been able to do that had I not gone to therapy. I've had a total of 2 therapists within the past 2 years. 2 therapists, and they were both great. They were both great. In their own ways, they were both great. But they both helped me realize that I can play an active role in my healing. I can play an active role in my mental health and making sure that my emotions are stable. I can play an active role in that. So I just want you to unleash your inner beast in that as well. So y'all, I love y'all so much, and I will see you in the next episode.